Hi, Mommy, and welcome. How are you? Betty here with The Motivated Mommy. How often have you thought about the thoughts that go on in your brain on a daily basis? How many of those thoughts have you had since you were a child, maybe a young adult? How many years have you been carrying around the same thoughts over and over and over, whether about yourself, about the way life is, your beliefs, any of that? Today, I am taking it back to basics. And everything that we have or don't have in our lives is because of the thoughts that we think. Everything we are or are not, everything we do or don't do, basically, the way your life is right now is because of the thoughts that you've thought your whole life. Now, as basic as this might sound, I mean, you're probably thinking, duh, I've heard this everywhere. Everyone says that. We are what we think. Well, let's go ahead and break all of this down because although it's something we hear over and over again, how many of us truly know how to go into our brain, figure out what is not working for us, and make a clear path to something that is going to work for us, something that we do want in our lives? The problem usually is most of the time, instead of trying to figure out what thoughts we have about a certain thing we want to change or a certain habit we want to take on, we overlook the thoughts and we go straight into the action. We want to stop feeling so stressed out about all the housework that we have to do. Having kids creates a lot more to do around the house. Instead of focusing our attention on what those thoughts around that topic are, we go straight into trying to do more, trying to delegate certain thoughts, trying to get our husbands or our partners to help us to make the work seem less. We go straight into the action portion of the plan. And the truth is that going into the action is never going to be sustainable if we don't get to the root cause, which will always go back to what our thoughts are about that. It sounds very basic to some. It is not easy to change because it is a new habit. It is something that you are not used to thinking or doing. So, as we know, that will take a lot of work, practice, consistency, but it is worth doing. Just like we regularly need to train our muscles in order to keep the muscle that we've developed, we also need to train our brain in order to keep those new, fresh, empowering thoughts that we are trying to make a part of our lives. Thinking nice, happy thoughts every once in a while just to get you to feel better is not sustainable. The reality is, our brain needs consistency, and doing that every so often just to get yourself out of a bad spot is not consistent enough. This is something that on a regular basis needs to be implemented. So the next time that you are struggling, thinking of some way to improve things, make them better, feel better, always go back to the thought that you have about that. And this is exactly what I talk about with all of my clients in my coaching program. We go into all of the causes of why you're thinking a certain way. We don't go in and automatically start going into action. We go to the root cause because that's the only way that we are able to make lasting change.